The Tobago Agribusiness Development Company Limited, also known as TADCO, presents the first ever Lamb Festival to be held in October. Now, the festival, which is part of the World Food Day, or is on the World Food Day calendar of events, is actually a tripartite partnership among the Division of Food Security, Natural Resources and the Environment, TADCO, and the Tobago Integrated Livestock Association. And so joining us this morning to talk more about it is a member of the Tobago Integrated Livestock Association, Quincy Crooks, and veterinary officer at the division, Dr. Paul Crooks. Crooks relatives or Crooks family, good morning. Thank you so much for joining us on Now.
Good morning. Thank you for having us.
Of course. I know that Dr. Crooks is no stranger to us. We call him here our resident veterinary officer. So thank you again for joining us, Dr. Crooks. I'm not sure who can start me off. I guess I can stick with you first, Dr. Crooks, in terms of tell us about the Lamb Festival. I mean, what was the reason for bringing this Lamb Fest and bringing it to Tobago?
Okay, so the Lamb Festival, it initially came out of a discussion between members of the Tobago Integrated Livestock Association and TADCO. And the idea was born out of discussions on how to promote mutton consumption on the island, because ultimately, most of the sheep farmers on the island of Tobago sell their sheep to Trinidadian butchers. And the common practice is that Trinidadians come up with their pickups, they drive around to various farmers, load up the pickups, and then typically head down to Trinidad to Princestown and sell the meat there. So the idea was, how do we promote mutton consumption on the island of Tobago, where traditionally it's been low? That's one. And two, by increasing demand, we hope to increase, in a long-term vision, increase ultimately the price that persons pay for lamb to give farmers a better quality of life. Because generally, unfortunately, livestock farming is still seen as a job that people take when they can't do anything else.
Yeah.
That's still the view. And where the amount of work and research and planning and time and dedication that farmers have to put into their craft, they deserve to be compensated fairly. And they really should have that market built in here in Tobago, because we have enough sheep produced that we can easily feed Tobago maybe 2 times over with the sheep that we have on the island, if we can get the demand here increased.
Of course. Quincy, I'm coming to you because I know Dr. Crooks just gave us a nice overview in terms of why it's lamb. But I mean, are we looking into, maybe going to other forms of livestock, or we aren't there yet and we really want to focus on the lamb, at least in this iteration?
Yes, in this instance, it's just about promoting lamb, actually. As we said, the name of the association is Tobago Integrated Livestock Association. So therefore, we cater to all animals. Yeah. All livestock farmers, with cattle, sheep, goats, rabbits, poultry, we cater to everyone. We have members from every sector of the agricultural, well, from the animal sector anyway. What we do hope to get out of this is, as Dr. Crooks would have said, is to create a better market, a more sustainable market for farmers, so livestock farmers in Tobago, where our produce is concerned. The butchers normally come and they do tend to undervalue the animals a lot. And therefore, the amount of the finances that farmers place on the animals, to ensure that they're healthy, that they're well fed, especially during dry season, it's a substantial cost. And then these guys come and they totally undervalue the animals, and farmers don't really see the benefit of it anymore. So what we are hoping to do is to create a more sustainable market, as I said before, where we'd actually be able to reach out to farmers and to the hoteliers and to restaurateurs and even to the supermarkets, where we could afford to create that market, where we could afford to start to process carcasses in Tobago and actually sell that meat back, into the supply chain.
Yeah. What can we expect at Lamb Fest? And of course, here you can tell us exactly when it's taking place, where it's taking place, and what can we expect? Are we talking everything lamb?
Yes, everything lamb. We are going to sell other byproducts on the side, but when it comes to the menu itself, we have several caterers.
Right.
And each caterer has to do a separate menu. These menus are also going to be made available to the public, so you can actually go home and try the dishes out yourself afterwards if you find it to be, to your palate and taste.
Yeah.
So it's everything lamb, and it's going to be a wonderful, wonderful experience.
Now, one of the interesting things you mentioned, Quincy, is the byproducts. What sort of byproducts can we get from lamb?
Well, not necessarily lamb alone, but when we said the byproducts from the other animals,
okay,
so we do intend to have other products from goat and the cattle, poultry products, the cheese, yogurt, the milk, because lamb is pretty much, as we say, sheep. The local balance is just mutton or lamb.
yes.
You have it cubed or you have the cuts, the specialty cuts. So what we're hoping to do is to encourage the Tobago populace to start to consume lamb, because at the end of the day, we do import a lot of meats. And it's always good to know what you have locally, especially the nutritional factor. At least when you have it homegrown, you know that it's a more healthy product. You can actually know what is being fed into the animals,
Yeah. Of course. Dr. Paul, I'm coming to you. Can you tell us when the event is taking place and where it's taking place?
So the Lamb Festival, hopefully, I just want to put this out there, hopefully this is the first of many to come. We're
Right.
hoping that this is the first annual Tobago Lamb Fest. It will be occurring on Sunday, October 8th at the Shore Park Food Hub. So for those who live in Tobago or those who are familiar with Tobago, Shore Park Cultural Complex, big institution at Scarborough near Roundabout. The food hub is just opposite that, between the Spring Garden Orange Hill gas station and the Shore Park Cultural Complex.
Yeah.
You can't miss it. And it will be on Sunday, October 8th, beginning at 10 a.m., running up until 6 p.m.
Nice. Now, I know that Quincy had touched on it a bit, but can we get a bit into the menu? And Quincy, maybe you can even jump back in here. Now, I know we said everything lamb, but are we seeing roast lamb? Are we seeing it stew? And then what can we pair that with to enjoy it?
Well, that all depends on the caterers. We aren't dictating the caterers and the pace. We are allowing them to use their creativity and their ingenuity to create dishes that we've probably never seen before. But, you will expect that there will be the typical roasted lamb. But as to say what else is going to come, I am also unsure. I don't know for sure what they are going to be preparing, but we are all looking forward to it. It's going to be, as you said, it's the first of its kind on the island. And we are looking forward to full participation from all parties involved. And we're hoping that it's a very successful initiative that we can actually host it yearly on the Tobago World Food Day calendar.
Yeah.
So that's something that we're looking forward to.
Of course. Dr. Paul, I'm coming back to you. Now, I would have mentioned it's a tripartite partnership, of course, with the division, TADCO, and the Livestock Association. What was the reason for bringing all these organizations on board, especially as this is the first one that's taking place on the island?
I think the rationale was the overall, every organization saw the value. So initially, the Scarborough Food Hub falls under the jurisdiction of Tobago Agribusiness Development Company Limited. And initially, TADCO offered the use of the food hub to the Tobago Integrated Livestock Association. And this is where it came up that, okay, well, there's need for funding, there's need for guidance. The Division of Food Security, that's my division where I work, we offer the logistical support. Generally, the planning has been all three parties involved. So in terms of decision-making, marketing, sending out invitations, all of those things, the discussions are had between all of us.
Yeah.
So that's only been to the benefit of the Lamb Festival, ultimately. So that we have a product that combines the ideas that were initially discussed between Tobago Integrated Livestock Association and TADCO. We have the ideas there, and now we have the funding and we have the logistical support to ensure that it comes off successfully.
Yeah. Dr. Paul, I know it's early yet, as we have been mentioning. This is the first one in Tobago. But in that planning process, did the organizations think about the sustainability of the festival in terms of how we can make this something maybe that we see on the calendar annually?
So, okay, so we think about sustainability in a number of ways. First of all, we hope that this will be a long-term benefit to the island and to the farmers. We hope that we can get lamb into our school feeding program, because again, you have on the island of Tobago, people don't really eat lamb. And I'll tell you, the truth is, a lot of goat roti in Trinidad is mutton. That's the reality.
You just let out a big secret there, Dr. Paul. Continue.
So here in Tobago, we are trying to get Tobagonians, because there are Tobagonians who could say, nah, that's mutton versus goat. We're trying to get people to say mutton is sweet, mutton tastes delicious. We want mutton here on the island. So we hope to be able to introduce mutton by bringing together various stakeholders. And this is through TADCO's network primarily. We're bringing together various stakeholders, like Quincy said, from the hotel industry, from restaurants, from retail, from school feeding program, Tobago Hospitality and Tourism Institute. We're bringing these stakeholders together to hopefully find and create markets and networks so that our farmers can then build contractual relationships, deliver a certain amount of lamb per month or per year to various stakeholders, and that these persons can then figure out how to utilize this lamb. So hopefully school nutrition program can utilize lamb, and going out of that, we hope that through TADCO, we can get use of the food hub to maybe do a mini lamb event every month where we have various caterers come by and showcase different forms of lamb once per month as well.
Of course. Yeah. And Quincy, I'm coming to you because as a member of the Tobago Integrated Livestock Association, can you speak to that particular association as to how this festival will benefit the members? I think we lost Quincy. Can you hear me? Okay, I think we lost Quincy, unfortunately. All right, I'm coming back to you. Quincy? Okay, all right, so he's frozen, so we can't hear him. I actually wanted to hear from him as well, Dr. Paul, because I wanted to know how the members were going to benefit from it. But as we have about 1 minute left, or maybe so, Dr. Paul, tell us why we should come down to the food hub in Shore Park on October 8th.
Well, like Quincy said, we have menus, various menus. We have a WhatsApp group with all these caterers sharing their ideas and discussing. So they haven't finalized their menus yet, but the menu will be varied and the recipes will be made public. We want people to not be afraid of lamb. Come down there. You can walk around and you can try the various preparations of lamb. We've instructed every caterer to have a sample cup type of presentation as well as meals, so that the persons can you can try various types of lamb as you walk around in little cups. You can purchase lamb right there. You can purchase various seasonings, agricultural products. We'll have various things on show. We have a bouncy castle for the kids. We have local ice cream. We have a lot of stuff going on the day that should attract various types of people, whatever you may be interested in. Probably not vegetarians though. So you can come by on Sunday, October 8th, from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. at the Scarborough Food Hub and the Shore Park Food Hub, and that's where all the good things will be happening.
So I don't know if you heard that my co-hosts were laughing, Dr. Paul, but I'm actually a vegetarian, so this is not for me at all. But one more question before you go, though. Very interestingly, this is taking place the Sunday before the Blue Food Festival. Do you think there was a risk in hosting it so close to a major food festival that's coming up on the island?
No, we don't think so. Actually, October is jam-packed with events in Tobago, as you all would be aware, with all of the Tobago Thursday discussions that are happening. So we're jam-packed with events, and we think that people look for events on various days. Of course, each event may appeal to a different crowd, but people are looking for activities to do on the island. So we're filling out that calendar and making sure that every day there's something to do, something to look forward to.
And Dr. Paul, quickly before you go, where can we get more information about the festival?
You can email contacttadco@gmail.com, or you can call me personally at 383-4451. WhatsApp me. I'll respond whenever I can.
Nice. Dr. Paul Crooks, always a pleasure to have you in this morning. Let me also thank Quincy Crooks as well, who we lost, but I know that he gave some vital information. So Crooks relatives, thank you so much for joining us on the Now Show this morning.
Thank you.
And that was Veterinary Officer Dr. Paul Crooks at the THA, and also Quincy Crooks, who spoke to us earlier, the member of the Tobago Integrated Livestock Association, talking about a lamb festival that I will not be able to partake of. Tell me.
I will eat on behalf of you.
Pretty much. I'm there with you.
I
You
don't
say
understand
everything
the
lamb,
problem.
no, everything lamb.
I there for
Roast,
that.
stew, this,
Bring
that.
lamb and come.
I mean, they're going to have sides, right? So, yeah.
I like to save, but we are keeping the focus on Tobago this morning. Remember, it's Tobago Thursday, so we're going to take a quick break and come right back. Stay with us.
Bring the lamb.